Hi, I'm Brother Ryan Asensio, and this is Saints in Focus. If you're watching this show, I'm sure you've heard of Pope John Paul II. He was Pope for 27 years until his death in 2005. He was canonized in 2014 and was even chosen as the Time magazine Man of the Year in 1994. As Pope, he visited 129 countries, canonized almost 500 saints, was shot twice, and visited his would-be assassin in prison. What a guy. But he wasn't always such a jet-setting superstar. Karol Wojtyła, who would later be known as Pope John Paul II, grew up in a middle-class family in southern Poland. He was athletic and extraordinarily intelligent, learning 15 languages before the age of 20. Sadly, by his 21st birthday, he had already lost both his parents and his only two siblings, making him the sole surviving member of his nuclear family. His early 20s were spent under the Nazi occupation of Poland, so that when he entered the seminary, he had to do so secretly. Also, while in seminary, the Nazis forced him to work in a quarry and do other odd jobs. But despite all of this, he persevered in his vocation and was ordained a priest at the age of 26. He was consecrated a bishop at 38, and then elected Pope at the relatively young age of 58. Now, John Paul II played a massive role in bringing St. Faustina's Divine Mercy message to the world. As you might know, the Divine Mercy devotion was banned by the Vatican in 1959, primarily due to faulty translations of the diary and the theological errors contained in these translations. But when JP2 was a cardinal, he started the process to get this ban reversed. First, he commissioned a theologian to reinvestigate the diary. And second, when he was elected Pope, he started the process for Sister Faustina's canonization. Well, the ban on the devotion was lifted in 1978, leading the Marians to publish the first critical edition of the diary in 1980. And Sister Faustina became Saint Faustina at the canonization Mass in St. Peter's Basilica in the year 2000. On the day of her canonization, John Paul also established the second Sunday of Easter as Divine Mercy Sunday. 1 year after that, JP2 specifically commissioned us Marians to, quote, be apostles of the Divine Mercy under the maternal and loving guidance of Mary. And we Marians pray that we have been faithful to that commission. The Divine Mercy message had a special place in John Paul II's heart. He considered the spread of divine mercy his special task and even wrote an entire encyclical on it, Dives in Misericordia. But personally, I think the most important thing John Paul II did to spread the message of mercy was to be a model of that mercy himself. Like how he celebrated the wedding mass for an average Italian couple, how he inspired priests to be faithful to their vocation, and how he gave the youth a sense of identity and purpose. So let's thank God for the gift of John Paul II, this great mercy Pope, whose feast day we celebrate on October 22nd, and let's not forget to beg for his intercession. Saint Pope John Paul II, pray for us.